The SS Scandinavian was a steamship built at Harland ampersand Wolf in Belfast which entered service as an ocean liner in 1898. The ship changed names and owners several times. She was originally built for the Dominion Line and was known as New England. In 1903 she was transferred to the White Star Line and renamed Romanic. In 1912 she was sold to the Allen Line and renamed Scandinavian, the name which she retained for the rest of her career. SS Canopic was a passenger liner of the White Star Line. The ship was built by Harland ampersand Wolf in Belfast for the Dominion Line and launched on 31 May 1900 as the Commonwealth. The 12,268 GRT ship was 578 feet 176 m long and powered by a 988 NHP 6-cylinder triple expansion steam engine which gave her a service speed of 16 knots 30 km/h, 18 mph. She could carry up to 1,300 passengers. The ship initially operated between Liverpool and Boston, but in 1903 she was transferred to the White Star Line and renamed Canopic. Her first crossing for the White Star Line began on 14 January 1904, on which she sailed from Liverpool to Boston. Immediately after this first crossing, she joined the Romanic and Republic on the White Star Line's new Mediterranean service, on which she would remain for more than 13 years. She was requisitioned for war service between 1917 and 1919, then served on the Liverpool-Montreal route until 1925, when she was scrapped at Briton Ferry, Wales. Timber paneling from the dining hall was salvaged and installed in the former Canopic restaurant at Mumbles, from where it was later reinstalled in the town's White Rose Hotel 3. The SS Titanic was built by Harland and Wolff and was christened on April 10, 1900. She was originally the Dominion Line's Cascadian. She departed on her first voyage on April 29, 1900, carrying cargo and passengers. The ship was the largest ship in the world and was reported to be able to carry an estimated 700 passengers on her maiden voyage. In 1902, she was chartered out to the White Star Line as Titanic I. In 1905, after leaving New York on her maiden voyage, Titanic had little trouble and arrived at the Titanic, having crossed the Atlantic in just 11 days. The longest ever crossing by a ship had passed without incident. In 1910, she was chartered out to the Allen Line as Romanian. She was also refitted to make her more look like a traditional Allen liner. During WWI, she was reconverted into a troop ship and became HMT Romanian. After WWI, she was sold to the Hamburg America Line as the SS Kron Prinz Sigmar. She was converted back to passenger liner by Blohm & Voss of Hamburg in 1921. She was known for carrying wealthy immigrants who wanted to start a new life in America, and became a popular ship in transatlantic service. In 1923, she was sold to a French shipping company and was renamed the SS Cecil B. DeMille. However, she started to show her age between mid-1920s. In 1931, she was sold to Italian owners. In 1931, a major refit was undertaken to prepare her for a new route between Genoa and New York. The new ship, as part of the fleet of the Italian firm Societe Italo-America di Navigazione, was to take advantage of the new port facilities at Leros in Greece. However, her condition became worse because of her age, so they decided to scrap her in 1934. SS Cadillac was a steamship built at Harland ampersand Wolff in Belfast which entered service as an ocean liner in 1900. The ship changed names and owners several times. She was originally going to be owned by the Leyland Line but was chartered out to the White Star Line during construction. The ship was completed on 27 December 1900 and launched on January 20, 1901. And went on her first maiden voyage on January 28, 1901. Her life was pretty controversial because of some accidents that happened to her. Her first happened in 1904 when she collided with the iceberg. She never sank but was taken to the dry dock for repairs. Her other one was during WWI when she went on flames and was taken to the dry dock for repairs. In the late 1920s, she was bought out by Anchor Line as the TSS Calabria. After Anchor Line's ownership, she started to show her age and was taken to the ship's care and maintain the ship in its glory. In the early 1930s, the Calabria was decommissioned until she was owned by a Japanese shipping company in 1933, renaming her to SS Calabria Maru and reclassified as an auxiliary ship. During WWII, she was reconverted into a merchant ship, the JS Calabria Maru. After the war, she was reconverted back into passenger service and became SS Calabria Maru again. She would only live for 3 years till she was scrapped at breakers in 1949. RMS Republic was a steam-powered ocean liner built in 1903 by Harland and Wolff in Belfast and lost at sea in a collision in 1909 while sailing for the White Star Line. The ship was equipped with a new Marconi wireless telegraphy transmitter and issued a CQD distress call, resulting in the saving of around 1,500 lives. Known as the Millionaire's Ship because of the number of wealthy Americans who traveled by her, she was described as a palatial liner and was the flagship of White Star Line's Boston Service 1. This was the first important marine rescue made possible by radio and brought worldwide attention to this new technology. The ship was originally built in Belfast, United Kingdom for the International Mercantile Marine's Dominion Line, a sister company to the White Star Line, and was named Columbus. She was launched on 26 February 1903 and made her maiden voyage in October 1903 from Liverpool to Boston after 2 voyages with the Dominion Line, Columbus, along with 3 other Dominion liners. New England, Commonwealth and Mayflower were sold to the White Star Line for use on their new service between Liverpool and Boston. Columbus was renamed Republic, the second ship under White Star livery to hold the name. White Star's original Republic of 1872 had been sold to the Holland America Line in 1889 and renamed Mossam, while her 3 fellow former Dominion liners were renamed Romanic, Canopic and Cretic respectively. RMS Baltic, not in the Romanic class, was an ocean liner of the White Star Line that sailed between 1904 and 1933. At 23,876 gross register tonnage, she was the world's largest ship until 1905. She was the third of the quartet of ships, all measuring over 20,000 gross register tons, dubbed the Big Four, the other 3 being RMS Celtic, RMS Cedric, and RMS Adriatic. During her civilian career, she served between Liverpool and New York. She was involved in a few minor incidents during her career. She distinguished herself especially in 1909 when she came to the aid of the Republic and the Florida that had collided with each other. The Baltic's rescue of all passengers drew attention to the important role that the new wireless telegraphy technology could play in ensuring safety at sea. In April 1912, the Baltic also picked up distress signals from the Titanic, but was too far away to intervene during the latter's sinking. During World War I, the Baltic carried troops from 1915 to 1918. She survived a torpedoing attempt and transported the first American troops to Europe, with General John J. Pershing on board. After the war, the ship continued its commercial service during the 1920s. Having become too old, she was finally replaced in 1932 and scrapped the following year, after nearly 30 years of career.